Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Empowering Policy Procedure Compliance with Revealr and Content Manager webinar. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tony Rogers, and I'm the Managing Director of Yoku Solutions, which is an ICT consulting and advisory company based in Brisbane. Presenting with me today is Bruce Wren, the CEO of Revealr, and Nimit Kapoor, Head of Customer Experience at Revealr. Today we'll be discussing some common compliance and operational challenges faced by organisations and how using tools such as Revealr and OpenText Content Manager can help. I'm trusting everyone can see my screen and I'm sharing well. Excellent, very good. So Yoku's worked with government and private organisations for many years, and we've found the same common challenges in most organisations we have worked at. That is how to ensure that staff can access the most updated version of documents quickly and simply. Too often there are multiple versions of Word and PDF policies and procedures floating around the organisation. These are being stored in different places, and from a compliance point of view, we have no idea if staff member has even read them. This creates a very real risk to the business, not just from a compliance point of view, but if your staff are not up to date with the latest policies and procedures, they may be giving out the wrong information to your customers or not doing the right thing without even knowing it. This can lead to some reputational damage and cost to the businesses when you need to go and rectify the mistakes. We knew there had to be a better way of doing this, and we came across Bruce and the Revealr tool and saw what it was able to do. Along with the fact that this has a direct integration with Content Manager and SharePoint, we decided this is the product we wanted to share with our customers. Content Manager, as a lot of you may know, holds the largest government customer base in Australia for records management. We've found that most agencies create and save their policies in Content Manager, and then they put a PDF copy up onto their intranets. This works okay, but when agencies take a PDF out of your records management system and store them in their SharePoint intranet, things start to go astray. And we start to have some problems as we get different versions and variations of the thing floating around, and quite often the published document isn't the most recent. However, Revealr were able to instantly create an easily consumable web page content directly from Content Manager through the integration. No more uncontrolled duplicates and out-of-date published policies, and there's no need for the user to download the PDFs, read the policies and procedures. I'll now hand over to Bruce from Revealr, and he'll take you through a deeper dive of the Revealr tool. Following Bruce's presentation, Nimit will take us through an actual demonstration of the tool in real time. So thanks, Bruce, and over to you.
Thank you, Tony. Can everyone hear me okay? Good stuff. Okay, well, because this is a totally different approach to actually, we make every page digitally consumable. So the whole idea is we're eliminating the need for downloads. Because there was no software around that did that, and hasn't been for 30 years, we had to invent something new, which we call digital twin technology. What's interesting is we took this had not been done in documentation, but it had been done in other content-rich industries like the movie business and the music business. So if you cast yourselves back a couple of, about 10 years or so, we used to get a movie, not a movie that might have been done by, say, Warner Brothers. We'd have to go to a video store to go and download, so to get that video and take it home with us. Now, what actually happened is Warner Brothers made one movie, but actually Blockbuster actually made millions of copies of that movie. Now, they're gone now because Netflix came along and used the internet to distribute the content to you in real time by streaming it to you. In music, it's pretty much the same story. Replace CDs by streaming the content to you in real time via the internet. Well, Revealr is the first company to take your knowledge base that is normally duplicated and put into all these different silos and streams the content to you via the internet. So you now have you just go to a single website that is mapped back to the trusted source of content. Next slide, thanks, Tony. So what this is all about is at the heart of all this is what we call a digital twin, a web-based replica of what you already have. So if you've got a 100-page document, we will digitalize that 100-page document and make it a 100-page website. So we've now created a web-based view of what you already have that is always pointing back to the trusted source. And in most of the people on this call, that trusted source is sitting in Content Manager. So if content manager changes, then you'll see that we change as well. So there are a number of processes that go on to do this, but it gets to be a really lovely customer experience. We digitalize the documentation, and then what we then do is we atomize it. Now, what we mean by that is you'd all be familiar with section 1.1, 1.1.1, etc. In a PDF or a Word document, you have a single URL for the entire document. We, in fact, have a URL for every section of that document. So section 1.1 and 2 paragraphs before you get to 1.1.1 is now a URL. So we now have an address for every block of text in your knowledge base. So that means that once we've digitalized it, and then if we're putting the information from different repositories, maybe some of the information you want is in Content Management, maybe some of it's in SharePoint, maybe some of it's in Dropbox. We'll bring it all together into a single place, into the digital twin. And because we've broken everything down to the section level, it means I can cross-reference, say, a policy in Content Manager with a procedure in SharePoint, right at the section level. So that's really very powerful because it means we can contextualize related information from multiple places and deliver it into a single place. And Nimit will show you a little bit later. We then can put AI across the top of all that to make it perform even faster. Next slide, please, Tony. So in other words, what we're really doing is you'll be very familiar with a typical Word or PDF document you see on the left-hand side. Well, what happens is a couple of minutes later, we digitalize it, and we've taken the structure of the document through section 1.1, etc., and made that the navigation of the website. And now the website is now pointing back to that trusted source. So now it's a website, and you go in via a browser. You don't have to go in via to download anything. Next slide, please, Tony. So this is what most organizations look like. You have on the left-hand side, you have all these different silos of information where the information is stored, often duplicated or triplicated. In fact, some intranets have up to 1,000 copies of every document, which is a nightmare for trying to work out which is the right one and for trying to make sure you're acting on the right information. So what you can see by the slide on the right-hand side is the digital twin is sitting in front of all those different repositories, and we're mapping the software back to the trusted source from wherever it came from. And on the right-hand side, you can see the customers coming into the twin to consume the latest version of any content in any one of those repositories. No downloading, no duplicates, instant access to any page of any document in real time. Next slide, please, Tony. Now, the return on investment is just fantastic on this, just in terms of people's time and in terms of cost. And in the yellow part of that slide, we're really talking about the time it takes for smart people to go and find all that content. So often you've got smart people doing dumb jobs, trying to find the right content. So we'll reduce the typical amount of time an information worker spends on looking for information is about 20% of their day. We'll cut that back to about 3%. So that means a massive return just on getting much more productive. It also means you're reducing your risk. That's the blue part there, because you're making decisions on the right information. It means you don't have as many people having to license as many license software. And the lovely thing about the digital twin is we, from a single source, can produce a web edition, an intranet edition, a mobile edition, a mobile offline edition, and a print edition, all from a single source. Often that's 5 different teams in different organizations. So the efficiency there is fabulous, and it's lightweight and it's friendly. And the great thing is the learning curve is very, very low. You all know how to use the internet. You all know how to use Word. You all know how to use PDF. We're not getting rid of PDF. PDF's fine for printing. Word's great for creating, but we're the distribution layer. We are the presentation layer from wherever you are on the planet. Tony. So I think we're thrown to the limit now, aren't we, Tony?
I just start this.
Nimit, over to you. Do you want to share your screen now and
Yeah.
do the demo?
Can you see the digital twin?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So one of the main challenges that this organization was facing was getting all their legislations, regulations, policies, and procedures in one single location, so that they can use things like AI to identify what their obligations are and to improve their compliance and save time and cost in general. So the Revealr product, this is what the Revealr product did for them. This is the end user experience of what their employees would come and look at to consume the content. So you have all your different legislations, regulations, all in one single location. So let me just quickly show you how we bring in documents from their analog format into a digitalized version. And for this, you can bring, as Bruce and Tony mentioned, you can bring in the documents from any repository that the organization uses. For now, I'll bring in some policies. So let's say we select one policy from SharePoint and another one from Content Manager. I'll do information management policy, and from Content Manager, I'll select the records management policy, for instance. Once they're in, I can start the conversion process.
Should I narrate this bit, Nimit?
Yeah, Bruce, you can.
Yes, what we're now doing is we're now ingesting the document. We're digitalizing every page. We're building the navigation of the website based on the structure of the original document. We're taking in the style sheets that have been manufactured for the website or for the intranet. We're then loading any cross references between related content, but it's very fast, as you can see there. That digitalization of a couple of minutes just took, I don't know how many seconds, Nimit?
Took 37 seconds for 2 documents, and you can bring in as many as you want, up to 50 in a batch. And let me now publish the documents and show you what the digital experience of those documents look like. Now the documents have been published and will be available to the end users. So I published 2 policies, so I can go under policies, and here are the 2 policies that I published. Let's go to records management policy, for instance. You can see that on the left, you have your a navigation, and that we form using the heading structure of the document. So you have all your heading 1s and heading 2s as drop-downs. It's very easy to navigate between the different sections of the document, and that's what you have in the middle. So that's the content of that particular section. And on the right, you have a bunch of cards or value adds that we provide along with the digital twin. So you can see what's the version date of the document, so your users know that they're looking at the right and the most up-to-date version of the document, and you're not making decisions based on outdated versions. I'll take you through AI capabilities and related documents in a second. You can also provide assistance to your end users in situ. So these are just generic FAQs, but you can provide them guidance right there in the application. And the content is multilingual as well out of the box. So if I, for example, want to change the language of the content, I can do that with just one click. Let me go back to English. And just a sec.
Big thing I would add too, Nemid, is the WCAG accessibility, because that's mandated for government agencies.
Yes. So the Revealr makes the content accessible as well. We have a bunch of accessibility tools built in. So for example, for someone with visual impairment, they can use things like reverse contrast. You can use text to speech, blow up the font size. And this makes the software WCAG 2.1 level AA compliant.
Every page, you don't have to do it. It's all done out of the box.
Yeah. And also, if there are any glossary terms in the content, they're automatically highlighted for your end users. So they just have to mouse over the term and they can see what that particular term means. It's very beneficial for things like if you have some abbreviations, acronyms that you need to highlight, you can do that. And each page of the document has a tag cloud that's automatically generated for that page as well, which basically classifies or provides classification and tells you what's being discussed in that particular section. And it's also backwardly integrated in the search. So if I click on one of these tag clouds, it gives me all the instances of that term in my entire knowledge base, and I can go to any of the sections from any of the documents that I need to. Let me just go back and show you what related documents and related sections experience looks like. So because now documents have been digitalized and each section gets its own URL, you can actually create relationships between different documents or sections of documents as well. So let's say I want to create a relationship between the document that I just uploaded, which is the records management policy. And for now, I'll just link it to the other document that I uploaded. That's the information management policy. And I'll click on next and confirm. So whenever your end user is on either of these documents, they'll have a link back to the other document in the right-hand navigation. So you can see I'm on records management policy, and on the right, I have a link to information management policy right there. And similarly, you can link policies to legislations or regulations as well. And let me quickly show you the section relationships as well. Again, taking the same document that I uploaded, records management policy and information management policy. So you can see I now have the backbone of both the documents. I can link, let's say, the purpose section of one policy to the purpose section of another. And I can create one-to-many relationships as well. I just save this and click on done. And just refresh the page. Let me go to information management policy and the purpose section. So you can see the purpose of records management policy is linked in the right-hand navigation. And for the end user, they can just click and the exact section of the other document opens up in the new tab for them.
Just amplify a couple of things that Nimit's just done there. So this is all about the user experience. As you've noticed here, we're able to take content from one repository, one section of one document in say, that comes from, say, Trim, and another one that comes, say, from SharePoint from another system. And we can link any URL or any section of a document with any other section of a document from any other system. And you can see it takes about 10 seconds to build that relationship. So this is an enormous capability, because often we never do actually work with one document. We often work with the policy and the procedure and the regulation and the code of practice and the standard and the regulation, legislation maybe. So it's just like a giant Lego set. We can pull these different URLs together and they're a click away. So it just means that you're able, you can actually stay in one place without having to go and look for different things in different places and download different things. Everything's about no downloading, instant access in real time to any page of any document from any system, in any language, on any device, with accessible.
And let's say you've linked a policy to a regulation. Whenever that regulation is updated, you know exactly which sections of the policies need to be updated to make sure you're still compliant with the updated regulation. So this comes in very handy there. And the last thing that I would want to show is the query. Since the documents are now digitalized, you can query documents as well. So for example, I'll take information security policy, for instance, and I can ask questions to this or multiple documents as well. For now, I'm just using one document. And for example, what are employees responsible for under this policy? And it will go through the document, find the exact sections, and generate a response. And it even give you links to the exact sections of the policy or the regulation that it used to generate that response. And you can ask follow-up questions as well. You can even take one regulation, one policy, and query both of the documents to see whether your policy is compliant with the regulation or not. And you can do a lot of these things because the documents have now been digitalized. And the AI also knows which version of the document to look at. So you're getting the most up-to-date response at all times.
I think that last point is a very important one. You're reading a lot about AI hallucinating in many organizations, and they're failing. So what Digital Twin does is the AI only has the trusted source to look at. There's no duplicates to contend with or version control problems. So you can be assured that you only have to put the AI over the twin, not over different repositories and different systems, so that now you've got the latest, most up-to-date version that will not hallucinate. And you can drill through. There's a full audit trail of everything you've done and everything you've looked at, and you can even pull up the original document if you wish. But you could have changed that into Greek or Japanese, couldn't you, with one click?
Yes. So,
even in AI.
Yeah. Even the AI is multilingual. So if you have employees that want to query the document in other languages, they can do that as well and get a response.
Now, is that the end of limit?
Yeah, unless there's anything else that you want me to show.
And for anyone online, there's a Q&A there. So if you've got any questions for Nimit and Bruce, please just jump in there and ask the questions, and we'll jump onto those shortly. Bruce, was there anything else we were going to show? Or
look, the only thing we would just mention there, you probably saw two parts of the system there. You saw both the end website there, or internet site that people are viewing, but Nimit also went into the console that's got lots of capabilities. So the customer's in charge, really. So it's really quite easy to set up, load in new documents or contextualize related ones, or use AI there. There's a whole lot of other things in there we don't have time for today. But one of the big things is analytics. That one of the things in PDF land, the only analytics you have is count the number of downloads. With us, we know exactly what pages have been being viewed on what device. And you can actually use this for your attestation and compliance as well. So you can bring your own people up the curve too on what they need to do. So because we've got what pages were visited, who was there, how long they were there, what pathway was through. It's very, very useful information just to make the information more appealing and more useful to organizations. But Tony, in answer to your question, really, I'd just like to sort of underpin a couple of things there. That the key benefits for government clients really is that staff are always looking at the latest policy, which of course reduces risk of acting on old information. The staff experience is great. You can learn it really quickly because it's how you use the internet. It's how you use the internet anyway. The big problem is the internet mostly doesn't have documents in it because they're mostly sitting in folders and drives. But everything you can do on a website, you can now do with your documents, which is really kind of nice. It's mobile friendly, so you don't have to do anything different for mobile friendliness. It works out of the box, so no downloads to your phone or your iPad. It's just available in real time, and it automatically adjusts. We eliminate version control. We just automate publishing, and whether it's output to web or to intranet, it's the same technology with just a different security layer. So that's kind of all I wanted to say, Tony. You're back to you, I think, on that.
Yeah, no, thanks, mate, and thanks for that, Nimit. And as you can all see from what Nimit's provided there, and Bruce has sort of reiterated, is it's a really good way of surfing your policies and procedures to your staff to ensure that we address the challenges and risks that we talked about earlier in this presentation. The integration out of the box with Content Manager and SharePoint ensures that we're able to publish the documents that are the latest version on a single platform to staff for access. But this does not need to just be an internal tool. There's no reason an agency can't use this platform for their external clients as well to publish the policies, procedures, guidance, and other types of documents to the public. Revealr works just as well to do that as well as it does to do it internally. And the benefits are really, if you've ever been onto a government website and have to scroll through millions of pages and then click on a PDF to download it, then it refers to another one, you're going to go back to it, you eradicate all of those sorts of issues going forward. The platform is simple, easy to use, as we've sort of shown you through it, and Bruce has reiterated, and the inbuilt URLs allow your staff to jump in between different documents and different sections at any time. There's no training needed, as staff are already used to using websites, and it's mobile friendly, so you can use it on iPads and your phone, and it's great for people working out in the field. And because it's got an offline capability, those sort of remote areas where they needed to access their procedures on how to do things is now covered. There's inbuilt reporting, as Bruce sort of alluded to, that provides you with the analytics you're going to need to inform you how you're doing with your compliance and who's looking at what and whether they've read your policies at all. I don't think we had any questions. If you do think of anything at all post this webinar, please reach out to me. There's my email address there. You can catch up with me there, catch up with me on LinkedIn, or give me a call directly. I'll also share a copy of this webinar with everyone present today, as well as send it out to all the registered people who are unable to make it. I just want to thank you all very much for your time today, and thank you, Bruce and Nimit, for presenting the Revealr product today. I hope everyone found this informative, and please get in contact with me if you want to talk about your particular challenges that you're facing and how this might be able to help you. That was it from us today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nimit. Thank you, Bruce. And have a good afternoon all.
Thank you, Tony.